Hey, happy Friday, everybody, and welcome to another Chamber Check-In episode from Idaho's only five-star accredited chamber. And today, I'm so stoked to finish off the week by sharing this great nonprofit organization called SCORE. And today we have certified mentor treasurer of the Treasure Valley SCORE organization, Tony Del Mercado. Hi, Tony. And I have co-chair of the Treasure Valley SCORE organization with us today, Mr. Peter Buzzard. Hey, fellas.
Hey.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. As we were talking before, I was sharing a little bit about this program and how long we've been featuring businesses. Well, it started during the pandemic when you have a chamber who gathers people for a living, and you couldn't do that anymore. We had to find a different way to engage with our members. And so here we are 3.5 years later, over 400 businesses featured. And today we're finally getting to y'all. And SCORE is one of these amazing organizations that I don't think a lot of people really know about or understand the impact that you all make. So we start these conversations off by learning about the people first. So why don't we start with that? I'm going to move around our screen a little bit here, and I'm going to bring Tony on the screen. And Tony, why don't you give us a little bit about your background and history of work that led you to becoming a mentor with SCORE?
Yeah, thanks for asking. Excited to be a part of this. Obviously, I've paid attention to the chamber check-in. I'm fired up about what you do, Paul. I think it's great for the community. So keep on rocking, brother. Right. I grew up in Minnesota. I started a business when I was 15, and I had the opportunity to parlay that into some more professional success. I've lived on both coasts. I met my wife in Los Angeles in 2010 when we started making babies like folks do. She grew up here. She went to Adams Elementary and East Junior High before they tore it down, and Boise High and Boise State. And so when we talked about where we were going to raise our family, we decided to move back here. I've been fortunate in my professional endeavors. Right now, about 10 years ago, I started a marketing business that's mostly built to enable growth stage e-commerce companies. And I've also started 2 venture capital funds that have been pretty successful in and around the marketing ecosystem, what we call not MarTech necessarily, but e-commerce enablement. And we wrote some checks off the balance sheet, had some wins, and then found that there were some other folks that wanted to ride our coattails. So we raised other people's money and then did that. But I'm grateful. I've worked in construction and food service and lawn care. And, I went to school for architecture, believe it or not. I wanted to be a teacher. Found out I made more money when I was 15 than the whole department, which is unfortunate for lots of different reasons we don't have time to unpack. But I've done a lot of different things. I was in the music business. And yeah, I've been really professionally quite successful and very grateful for that professional success. And my gravitation towards SCORE came from my grandma, who turned me on to SCORE. And I thought it would be something I would do post-career. But the SCORE organization, despite the name or the original acronym, is actually perfect for somebody like me that wants to give back to the community and be involved and help shepherd some new entrepreneurs through their journey. So I've really enjoyed my time so far with SCORE, and I've had an opportunity to impact. I just had lunch with a guy down the street that's one of my clients, and I'm excited about what he's doing. And it's a great organization.
Awesome. Thanks, Tony, for the background. I appreciate it. Peter, you're in the best place where we all want to be right now. I can tell you're in your camper up at Bogus, and give us a little bit about your background and tell us a similar story and your history of work.
Hey, I appreciate it. Thank you. Hey, thanks again for having us, by the way. We appreciate that. We do need a little PR to help raise the visibility for SCORE in the Valley. And I happen to be one of those rare folks, actually a native of Idaho, born, raised, and educated, if you can believe it, in beautiful Caldwell. So I graduated from College of Idaho, and then couldn't wait to leave because, it was feeling a little small back then. Ended up falling into my first career, which was doing marketing for VC-funded software companies in the Boston and the Bay Area. And then moved back to Idaho in early 2000s to help raise my 3 babies and take care of my mom, who still lived here. And so started my second career. I was an independent marketing management consultant here in the Valley for a few different companies, and then rounded out my career at HP. Kind of missed working in teams, so went back to work for my first large company actually ever, and learned a bunch of great stuff there as a go-to-market strategist for the business unit of office printing. And then I decided to retire. Fortunate enough to be in a position to be able to do that at a relatively young age. But being from here, being able to kind of help support and inspire the next generation of entrepreneurs is something that's pretty near and dear to my heart. So I recently was asked to help manage our local Treasure Valley SCORE chapter, and just started my job as co-chair. So you should be seeing a little more of me in the near future as part of the chamber community. Look forward to it.
Peter, thanks so much for that background, and congratulations on your career and careers. And looking forward to meeting you in person and understanding more about how we can help. So let's keep it on you for a minute, Peter. Tell us what SCORE is. There's an acronym, right? And I know Tony mentioned that a little bit before, but give us the 30,000 foot view of what SCORE is, some of the and what the acronym is.
Hey, you bet. So SCORE is the nation's largest network of volunteer expert business mentors. There are actually over 10,000 of us volunteer mentors across the U.S., serving all 50 states in the U.S. SCORE was actually founded back in, I guess it was the mid-'60s, as a resource partner of the U.S. Small Business Administration, the SBA. So we have a relationship with SCORE and our kind of founding, with the SBA. And our founding principle or charter, I guess I'd say, for SCORE is to provide mentoring to small business owners, and then supplement that individual one-on-one mentoring with resources and education. So since 64, we've served over 11 million entrepreneurs, if you can believe that, who've either started, grew, or exited a business. And here in the Valley, the Treasure Valley chapter of SCORE was formed actually in the early 70s, 1971. And we are housed with the local Boise SBA office over off of Park Center. And there are currently a little over 30 active mentors in our chapter.
Thanks, Peter. That's a great explanation. And wow, I had no idea that it started so long ago, and how many 11 million businesses since then. And
it's
oh my
crazy,
gosh,
isn't it? Yeah.
That's incredible. Hey, Tony, tell us a little bit, maybe deep dive into some of the services that y'all provide.
Yeah, happy to. I will also bolt on to what Peter had said. The acronym is often confusing. I think the original title was the Social Core of Retired Executives, or something to that extent. And the retired executives piece, I'm a perfect example. I'm a working man still. Unlike Peter, I'm shooting for his life sitting in a camper up on Bogus. But I find that my ability to mentor local aspiring entrepreneurs and folks that are in business is it fits in well with my other obligations as, obviously a husband and a dad and those things. And so for me, it was a misnomer. So the acronym, I would say, is not necessarily as relevant today to the mission of SCORE, which is about mentorship. And as it relates to the services, that is our primary service, is mentoring small business owners wherever they're at in the life cycle of their business, whether it's an idea on a napkin or they're 3 years in or 5 years in. We also provide training resources, a huge variety of topics, all accessible through our website, which I'll plug probably several more times before we're done here. It's Treasure Valley Score, treasurevalleyscore.org, or treasureValley.score.org. Either way, whether it's learning how to run, paid social ads, Google AdWords campaigns, build a business plan, understand a P&L, talk to a banker about financing, how to prepare for financing, legal interests, cap tables, optimize your supply chain, how to hire and fire, HR, pretty much anything. We have a tremendous amount of talent and resources available to help business owners succeed. That's why we exist.
All right, Tony, thanks for that. Peter, help me understand and help the listeners understand what type of businesses should be reaching out to SCORE. Tony described it very well. Maybe it's a new business, but could a current owner of a business reach out to SCORE? And tell me a little bit about that. Are you looking for businesses that have 500 employees or 0 employees, or tell me about that? You're muted though.
Thanks. Sorry about that. I was trying to be a good colleague and not talk all over Tony. So really the target for our SCORE is small business owners. Typically, that's going to be somebody that's probably going to have 50 or less employees, right? But a lot of the folks that we support are just getting started, and it might be somebody who wants to start a coffee shop, or it might be somebody who wants to start a landscaping business. It might be somebody who's going to start manufacturing something, or even maybe a technology company, a services company. Really, the intention is to help the small business owners succeed. Whether, as Tony mentioned, they're just getting started, like, I've been thinking about starting something, but I don't even know where to begin, right? To the, hey, I'm looking to get help building my first P&L to go to a banker because I want to buy a building to house my business. As part of my retirement plan as a small business owner, I want to own a piece of real estate, and I want my business to help pay for it. How can you help me get ready to go get a banker to give me a loan?
Well, that's incredible, and that really, as you can see from some of the comments below, they're really loving all the different programs and the good information, and that you're supporting small businesses is key, and helping them along the way, because what a risk and what a leap of faith, for a lack of better term, that people are taking to start their own business. I would love to know, how do we connect you with these businesses? And maybe I'll bring all 3 of us on the screen for that, and unmute, and how do we get a hold of you?
Yeah, the simplest answer is that website that you see scrolling across the bottom, treasurevalley.score.org. You can request a specific mentor that maybe has subject matter expertise in the area that you're curious about. Somebody that's, geographically, I don't know how widely distributed this recording is going to be, but if you want someone locally, if you want someone that's just a subject matter expert, I know I got a mentoring request earlier this week from someone in DC, specific to my knowledge, and so I'm there obviously as a mentor on the website, but that's the resource, that's the repository, that's where the templates live, that's where the webinars are, that's where the mentors are. That's the spot. That's the easiest place to do it. And the form's super simple. It's really low impact, easy to do.
Peter, you mentioned there's 30 mentors here in the Treasure Valley. And one of them is Chambers, one of our favorites is Martin Ackerman. And I would be remiss not to mention Martin, because he is a successful business person. He owned Signs by Tomorrow for years and served on our ambassador committee. And he's just a good guy, right?
He sure is. We love Martin.
Wealth of information. Hey, is there anything else while we have you today that you'd like to educate the public on? Any upcoming events or resources, or what's new?
Sure. Just a couple of closing thoughts. One is that stay tuned to look on our website there for upcoming events. We do typically do webinars, 1 or 2 a month on a variety of topics. We're also looking to bring back our in-person workshops, which were actually super popular prior to COVID. It's been shut down for about 4 years, and we're hoping to get that off the ground by the end of this year. And then just in closing, kind of 2 things I'd love to educate everybody about and remind everyone. Number one, right, that the mentoring services from SCORE are free. And they're free because our mentors are all 100% volunteers. And having a professional, unbiased advisor to help navigate all the crazy challenges of being a business owner, I really think is an incredibly valuable resource. And then second and last, the other side of the coin is we continually need new mentors. The Valley is growing, people retire. We always need fresh talent within our chapter. So if you happen to be somebody like Tony Del Mercado, who's been successful in your business life and are inspired by the idea of actually helping that next generation of entrepreneurs, we would sure love to have you. You just go to that same website, treasurevalley.score.org, and scroll down and you see the button to become a volunteer, or anybody's welcome to shoot me an email direct to peter.bezard@score.org. Thank you.
Tony, any closing comments as well to add on to what Peter's talking about?
No, Peter nailed it. Obviously, I would say, for those that are interested, which I hope everybody that sees this is, pay attention to our website, right? We're exploring the idea of getting back our Ask an Expert live forum where attendees can ask topic-specific experts their relevant questions. Bringing back in-person workshops like Peter alluded to. We got our butt kicked by COVID like everybody, and we had a nice thriving community prior to that, and we'd like to reinvigorate that. We're going to continue to host monthly live business and marketing related online seminars. So yeah, just stay tuned, right? Follow us, get acquainted, look at the site. There's good stuff. We're like a lot of businesses, we're coming back out of our shell kind of post-pandy, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. And Peter, I'm going to sign up with you first because you're up at Bogus, and that's where I want to be anyway.
Right on. Come on up, man.
Awesome.
It's going to be a great weekend.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for taking your time to help educating us on what SCORE is, what it does. We had tons of comments today. Happy Friday, you two. Enjoy your weekend and have a great Labor Day.
Hey, thank you.
Thanks, boys. Take care.